Greetings, greetings. Let me wait for you all to come in. You finally get to see my face because I had to go public as they're trying to kill me. And I'm not crazy. I hope you all know that I'm not crazy. I hope that tonight's episode will show you that I'm not crazy. Okay? Let's give it a few minutes. I usually wait a good 1 to 2 minutes before I start speaking. I'm outside again. I was in a shelter, but guess what? They'd rather have the criminals there than upstanding citizens. So here I am, outside again, with my bags. Let me give it a moment. You all thought I wasn't coming, right? Because I usually come at 8:08. I know. Let me give it a moment. And I'm a woman. See my breasts? These are breasts. They've been saying I'm a transsexual from Colombia. They've been saying I'm a transsexual in Brazil. They've been saying I'm a transsexual from Guatemala. All these things to make certain people avoid criminal responsibility, okay? And I wasn't important enough to help, okay? That's what we're dealing with here. That's what we're dealing with in Savannah, Georgia, and throughout the Southern Bible Belt. This is what they do. Attack indigenous brilliant minds and lesbians. So let me give it a moment. I was reading a book about Bobby Kennedy. I was hoping to do some research prior to this podcast, but I was unable to get it accomplished because the Salvation Army of Savannah, Georgia, look how people be pulling up. I don't trust it. The Salvation Army of Savannah, Georgia decided to hire criminals, and in the process they were able to kick me out of the... One second, they got too many police cars. They probably sent them by on purpose. It's an ambulance, actually. So due to the fact that I am not a criminal, and they've realized that I'm not training for FBI, they've realized that I'm not training for CIA, NSA, any government agency. They've realized that I wasn't the transsexual who they were looking for. Now their plight is to kill me. They gave me a tainted cigarette tonight on purpose, and I didn't know it until 2 hours later, and I was like, why does this feel like this? Why do I feel angry when I'm very calm? And it was because of the tainted Maverick cigarette. There's a guy who... I'm not a female FBI. That's not me. They just made a comment. Sorry, Steve. I'm not FBI, okay? So there was a guy that pulled up to the bus station here in Savannah, Georgia, and I asked him specifically, because I looked at the cigarette, and usually I can tell if it's dipped, because they've been doing that quite often here. They've been offering me cigarettes that appear to be somewhat tainted with some type of chemical. They've said formaldehyde and other such things, and I don't do any drugs. Only thing I do is smoke cigarettes, tobacco, and I smoke hemp. And since I travel a lot because I'm a Sagittarius, and you know Sagittariuses love to travel, I read the law for each state and I follow the law according to my hemp, my THCP, my THCA, all those things I clarify with the various people before I engage in such activity. So my name is Erica Clark Wise the Renaissance. I'm being attacked by domestic terrorists that include the likes of allegedly 19 Keys, his conglomerates who don't like lesbians, a man named Poncho, who's supposedly a fake shadow FBI operating out of Missouri, same place they say 19 Keys is from, or Kentucky, one or the other. There are also Aryan Nation members who have seconded, I'm trying to say it right, who have vouched for the fact that I am indeed a victim of domestic terrorism at the hands of their people. Hi, everyone. Hi, Stephanie. How are you all doing? And so tonight, I was going to plan a very elaborate speech about Bobby Kennedy and his relation ship to my life in terms of what I've been enduring as a citizen of America who is disappointed in an unjust system that not only allows for plagiarism of intellectual property, but also allows for the unaliving of citizens who have done no harm to anyone. I've been labeled as a pedophile. I've been labeled as a child molester. I've been labeled as a pimp. I've been labeled as a prostitute. I've been labeled as all of these things that are not true. And on top of all of that, I've come to find out that they probably did the same insertion of chips that I have labeled on my threads as neural weaponry. Check my threads, I'm back 6608, and you'll learn more about this type of weaponry. In order to cover it up, Donald Trump and Patel of the FBI have allowed for people to say that I was training for FBI to cover it up, because they realized that when I didn't die in the intended 30 days of the death trap on the mountain of Puerto Rico in Utuado, all documented. Look at the court filings that I placed in Utuado, Puerto Rico, and check the tapes. They have limited cameras at the Utuado, Puerto Rico Police Department, and I wonder why. These places have been turned into simulated cities similar to Savannah, Georgia, where I'm currently at, and also Greenville, North Carolina, where they use schizophrenics and other disenfranchised people for simulation games to make fun of them and to hurt the community of indigenous brilliant minds specifically. And I am one of those minds. I'm a polymath. I have a degree in psychology, a BS with family and marriage counseling as the emphasis, as well as a master's degree in social work from Howard University with an emphasis in criminal justice. That does not make me FBI, folks. That does not make me anything except for one of the graduates of Howard and Oakwood University. What they decided to do when they saw me on Instagram, Aryan Nation, and supposedly Donna Felton, which is an ex-sociopath's of mine's mother, Alita Felton. This is what I've been told on these chips. They supposedly were working with prostitution rings and things of that nature, and they are allowing people to use these chips in a dark market fashion to utilize them for prostitution. So they're able to prompt people. You would be surprised how many people at the local businesses in Savannah are easily prompted into behaviors that are not warranted by the company. So there's several companies out here who have head employees who are able to be prompted just like a ChatGPT prompts for answers. These people are prompted into action to perform tasks that are most likely illegal and criminal. And it's being done repeatedly throughout the county, throughout Savannah, Georgia, as well as Greenville, North Carolina. Oh, it's terrible in Florence, South Carolina. You don't even want to go there. Don't even visit. And so what I've noticed is that if you say anything about this, they try to kill you. And that's what I'm facing currently. It's an outlash of behave, nigga, or get fucked up. And that's what it is. And I refuse to listen. I refuse to behave because I am the victim. I am the victim of being attacked in a Puerto Rican hospital, supposedly because Alita Felton and 19 Keys told them that I was married to them. This is the intel. This is allegedly, and this is something you all need to look into. Because why? My name is Erica Clark Wise, the Renaissance. And guess what? 19 Keys is on the Renaissance tour. How the fuck did that happen? This is just one of the things. If you look back over his past year of YouTube videos, excuse me, a lot of his topics deal with what I've been studying since 2017. Web3, I've been studying tokenization of real estate. All these things he mentioned. I've even studied stocks in terms of knowing how to trade stocks. When I was at a gas station just recently here in Savannah, There was a fake police officer who said to me, based upon his scan of my body, that I had one chip in my leg, one chip in my arm, and one chip in my neck. There's a man out of Kentucky who supposedly killed some of my loved ones named Jerry, quote unquote Jerry. They've been terrorizing my cousin Jerry, making him think that every time I mention Jerry, I'm talking about my cousin, when in actuality, I'm talking about this Klan member, this Aryan Nation Grand Master, they say, who is named Jerry out of, I believe it's either Missouri or Kentucky. This is all based upon memory, and they've been erasing my memory constantly. Hello, hello. Yes, it is legit. Everything I'm saying is legit. I have more intel. I need a good attorney. I can guarantee you I'm probably a trillionaire if I can make it to another country. I'm through with America. America has shown me that they don't respect the minds of brilliant indigenous people, and I am one of them. And so I just want you all to know that I'm stranded again. I was in a shelter that had bed bugs through the Salvation Army. Report it. Report that the Salvation Army in Savannah, Georgia hires criminals, kicks out the good people, and has bed bugs. Please report it. And so we have a whole conglomerate of less than ethical people running around with privilege to your brain. And let me tell you who they let run the goddamn chips. Schizophrenics. You have a schizophrenic who has a telephone who can make your arms hurt, your legs hurt, your vagina hurt. Anything they want to do, they can do it to you. And this is allowed by Trump and Patel. Patel is the FBI director. I've been reporting to them, I don't know, for 2 years now. I've been reporting this shit. And what have they done? Oh, she's just a nigga. She's just a lesbian. She has tattoos. She can't be shit. This is their sentiments. And how do I know? Because the chip allows you to read sentiments. Okay? So this is what I'm going through. I want you all to know it. I'm sorry I'm late tonight. I'm sorry I'm not more organized in terms of my speeches, but I didn't have time to sit down and prepare and finish reading my book like I had planned earlier today, because the shelter kicked me out for being an upstanding citizen. Isn't that wonderful? Don't we love America? So this is my speech for tonight. I usually only stay on here for like 12 to 15 minutes at the most, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'm upset because they gave me a laced cigarette illegally. I asked the guy. It didn't look laced, but I have no money. They stole my credit cards in Florence, South Carolina. My so-called friend who I escaped from the death trap in Puerto Rico and went to her for safe shelter ended up to be in cahoots with 19 Keys. She's the one who told me it was him. So these are the things we must realize, how we don't have friends unless we have, true friends who value who we are. I'm not a criminal. I've been self-mastering for 8 years. I've been in mostly isolation doing that. I'm not on crack. That's another rumor. I'm not on heroin. I'm not on any drugs. I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not DID. I'm not mentally ill. The most that I have is chronic post-traumatic stress from my terrible relationship with Alita Felton and my attack by the Puerto Rican government. I went to Puerto Rico in the government FBI specifically and told them about all of these things. I even relayed to them that the lady they had interview me at the FBI showed symptoms of the Havana syndrome. They still did nothing. I got a crazy white guy I posted on my Instagram who's been following me from Puerto Rico to state, acting as if we're working together as FBI. There's so many things that are terrible. I have a $1 trillion lawsuit, I promise you. So I need a place to move. They've killed or they've hurt most of my family mentally or either physically, and they've admitted to it in a way that, what you gonna do about it type thing. So I need a place to go. I'm not gonna hurt anybody. I'm not violent, but I've been hurt, and the government has failed me. My name is Erica Clark Wise, the Renaissance. I'm in Savannah, Georgia. Most people can find me because I'll be walking down the street with my 2 suitcases, okay? Because I refuse to give up. I've been doing so much work on self-mastery That's the only reason why I'm alive today, because most people who enter the death traps only live 30 days, and I've made it 2 years. So thank you very much for listening. I wish I could have had something more encouraging for tonight, but right now I'm out here on the street again because they let criminals dictate their actions at the Savannah, Georgia Salvation Army shelter where they have bed bugs. Thank you so much and have a good evening.